everybody, welcome to Love Chat with the Love Twins, and so excited to be here with you today. It's really fun to meet with you every Monday through Friday for these little love chats, and we're taking the topics straight from the questions that we're getting from many of you, the questions that you have, the things that you want to know more about, and the things that are important to you and your love life. So, sorry, I'm trying not to cough. So I'm not sure if Michelle's going to be joining me today. I know we have a meeting right after this with our amazing New Love in the New Year team. So we'll be jumping off maybe a few minutes earlier, but definitely wanted to make sure we jumped in here and answered the question, why am I attracting the wrong type of guy? There's Michelle right there. Let me bring her in just a second. Michelle, I think you're going to need to request to come in. I have to cough and my nose is itchy. I gotta love live technology, live TV. Let me get a little closer here. All right, so while we're waiting for Michelle to request to come on, and there she is, let me just approve this really quickly. It's a really important topic, right? It's why am I attracting the wrong kind of guy? And we've been talking about where to meet men and what makes a guy dateable. And so this one is why it's not about millennials. And I'll wait till Michelle gets on to talk. There she is, to talk a little bit more about that. So it's not, when we ask why am I not attracting the right guy, it's not about pointing the finger to see who to blame or what you're doing, what's wrong with you, which is one of the biggest concerns that women have. I just had 2 people ask me that today. About what is it that's wrong with me, or is there something wrong with me? Am I ever going to be able to find this amazing relationship? So today we're going to be talking about some of the inner reasons why you might be attracting the wrong kind of man, and then also some of the outer reasons. So we focus on both because it is ridiculous to think that you can make any type of transformation by just focusing on what you're doing. Doing is actions. It's tactics, it's skills, and then there's also the part of transformation or of creating the results that you want that starts with the mindset and the heart set. Okay, so we're going to talk about both. So welcome, Michelle. So glad to see you there. I'm going to adjust my seat here for a second. Yeah, I'm having all kinds of things popping up on my screen, so I apologize. And I think I don't know, I've got to get my lens fixed. I think that it's not a lighting thing, because on my phone it looks great. On the actual Facebook Live, I look kind of washed out, but we'll get there. Didn't even remember to look over there. Hey, Karen. Hi, Karen. I always remember she said like car. I always remember that too. So what did you want to start us off by sharing? I really need to scratch my nose. I'm sorry. It's gonna be. I cannot even help Wednesday. It's all over YouTube. Oh, good God. Well, this is all part of it, right? Like showing up authentically, not trying to get it perfect, not trying to get it right. That's part of the mindset. I'm so glad it is that way in this world that we train in, because like Gladys was saying, you could focus on all the tactics, and this is something we're going to be going way deep into in the New Love in the New Year event this weekend. The what to do and how to do, that's important. But there's something that has to go before you get there in order for it to make any real and lasting difference. So you might have had the experience, let's say, of maybe you read a book or you watched a video, you got all inspired, and then you applied something that you saw in the video or something you read in the book, and then something happens. After a while, you might practice and get some results, but if you don't have the mindset, and actually the support, like a community supporting you, what is most likely to happen is you're going to go back to old habits. And so in the work that we do with our clients and what we're doing with you today is to really get you to see that it starts with the mindset, because your mindset is going to determine what you're thinking. It's going to determine what you believe. It's going to determine what you see. It determines what
and see in reality, but also see what's possible. It actually
Right.
will determine where one person sees something as a positive experience, another person sees it as a negative experience. And then it also impacts your results because the actions that you take are going to give you the results. So it's the combination of the two that really is the winning formula, the winning combination, I should say, not formula, the winning combination. And when women get this, when they actually get this and they're able to do the work to shift the mindset, it's such a powerful thing. And that's why we get so many clients telling us, you know, I thought I was doing that, but then when I started working with you, I got a completely different result.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about actually that piece of the training. It's kind of embedded through the whole thing, but there's some really interesting and fun things that we're going to discover this weekend.
So, well, you know, obviously we're not just going to tease you and say we're going to talk about it. We're going to give you a few things, but we do have to be honest. I explained to them that we have to get off a few minutes earlier because we have our meeting right afterwards. But one of the things, so here's what we mean by mindset, because I think there's a lot of buzzwords out there. Mindset is one of them. Transformation is another. So it's important that you know what we mean by that. But the mindset, one that I think comes up, and I'll never forget, Michelle, you're probably going to remember the moment I start to tell this story about that particular workshop where we were talking about he's not the enemy. He's not
Yeah.
the enemy, meaning men. Oh my God, my nose. I'm so sorry. It's so itchy. I can't even stand it. So we were talking about, so this is a mindset hack, but it takes more than just talking about it. Like Michelle was saying, it really does take going deeper to where did this even come from. We were having a workshop, one of the workshops that we have for girlfriends and wives, and we were talking about, you know, it's impossible to create love and peace and harmony and connection and intimacy with someone who you view as the enemy. Now, the women in that room would have argued, I don't see my husband as the enemy. I don't see my boyfriend as the enemy. So we started asking the women to share some of their beliefs about
Yeah.
men by simply saying, you know what? Think about what's hard about dating and relationships. Think about what's hard. And now fill in the blank. Men are blank. And what started to come out, and maybe we'll just give you, you know, give you an opportunity if you're there. It's hard, for some reason it's not showing me if anybody's here, but if you're out there, you know, when you think about what makes dating or relationships hard, what makes it hard, and you fill in the blank, men are blank. And some of the things that came up were, and you all can put them in the comments if you want, were, you know, men are some people said men are liars. Some people said, actually, we said men blank. So men are liars. Men
Don't want to commit.
they only want sex. They're only after one thing. So all of a sudden, we started getting this long list of beliefs that the women in the room had about men. And we do the same. We do the same kind of exercise with our single ladies, because what starts to come out is the stuff that's in the background, the stuff that you pretend is not there, the stuff that you sometimes, and some people are pretending. I had a call with one of my clients today, and we uncovered an inherited conversation, which is like a generational conversation about something in her family that she wasn't even aware. And when we started doing the work, that the kind of work that the in-depth work that we do with patterns, I mean, this is going back generations. It's not just her parents. Like, she just in that conversation, we uncovered 3 generations of the same conversation around something that was a limiting belief for her. So when you start to uncover what your limiting beliefs around men are, you start to see that many times you're going out there looking to create a wonderful relationship with a great man with the perception that men are liars or cheaters. They don't want to commit, and they don't know what they want. They only want sex. And so one of the things that we help women do is, how do you turn that around? So that's what we mean about the mindset shifts that then create the heart set shifts that then create the outer shifts that you can make in your doing. So that's one example. Michelle, so what other ones can you think of? And you remember, oh, the funny part about that was that a woman was like, oh my God, I didn't even see that. I'm constantly, those of you who were dating ourselves, those of you who watched the first Karate Kid, the real one, you know, the one with Will Smith's kid, the one with Ralph Macchio, where he's like on that little, what do you call that?
Oh,
Like a stump in the pier, like in the water. And he's like, you know, with his hands up, she's like, I'm always like this, like just ready to, you know, kick him. And wasn't even realizing that that's how she was interacting with him. And thank goodness that she changed her, that she did the work to create her mindset, because a few months later he proposed to her. So it was like really incredible to see, because she felt like he was resisting marriage, and really what he was resisting was whatever it was that was having her be consistently on guard against him.
Yep. So that's a really great example of it. So that's a belief that you have. So how a belief can impact the way that you show up. And when it impacts the way that you show up, you're taking actions that are completely consistent with that, even if you're pretending that that's not what you believe. So that's why she realized, oh my God, I think that I'm just expressing what I feel, but really what I'm ready for is I'm ready for the fight. And that's why they kept arguing. So another example of that is really pretending that you have it all together. So when somebody is, and we see this a lot, those of us who we're go-getters, right? We're go-getters. We're used to getting results. We're used to going after what we want. One of the things that happens is that we become so driven and so independent that we actually start believing that we have to do everything on our own. And we also start believing that if people knew that we didn't have it all together. So maybe this is one of your fears, being found out that you don't have it all together. So one of the beliefs you have that fear fills or feeds is that I have to do it all by myself, or I have to make sure that I get it all right. I have to look perfect. I have to be perfect. I have to act perfect. I have to find the perfect guy. I have to find the perfect everything. And what that does is it has you be under this unspoken, but very, very, very much alive in you stress. And so you go out on a date, and I'll be honest, I went out on a date once, and I was telling, I didn't even realize this, but I was telling him about how great my life was, which it was, how, you know, driven I was, how I was doing this, and that, and I volunteered here, and I did this, and I was, first of all, I was talking and talking and talking, which is one of the things that we want you to stop doing on a date. We really want you to start listening and asking questions and not so much talking.
You were trying to get it worded nicely.
Just stop doing that. That's one of the things you could just stop doing. And one thing that he said, and this was a guy who was established. He was a guy who was very well off in his career financially. We were on our first date, and he said, wow, I wouldn't even know what I could provide or add to your life. And I was just like, I liked him so much, and I could tell that he was turned off by that. And it was afterwards, after the date, and he never called again. He just never called again. Something in the way that I was showing up was sending the message that not only am I perfect and I've got it all together, but I've got it so all together that I don't need anybody, including you sitting across from me on the date, gorgeous, handsome man, right? So total missed opportunity. But these are things that are happening in the background. And what really can be life-changing is when you get the layers of it. There's layers of it that are showing up, and what you see on the surface, and maybe what you can recognize on your own, or even what the people closest to you can recognize, is only what's the top, maybe 1 or 2 layers, and then there's several other layers that we can uncover. Like Gladys said, 3 generations, we'll talk about 3 layers of fears or insecurities or limiting beliefs and patterns that don't work, that we're just doing them because we're not even conscious to them. So that's another type of thing. So having the mindset that you have to be perfect rather than a mindset where you really understand that you're going to make mistakes, that you can be yourself, that it's okay, that everything is not exactly the way that it's supposed to be, then what shows up is a light and fun, energetic, approachable, attractive energy and way of being. And I bet you if that would have shown up on the date, he would have called back.
Absolutely. And I want to just say something to that, because when we talk about, obviously it's more than we can get into here, but when we talk about generational conversations that you're not even aware of, I often use the analogy of a magnet that's like back here in the base of your neck, where you could, you just can't see it unless you have a mirror in front of another mirror. Like, it's so way back there. And when we're operating under those are the kinds of things that you may be saying, and I mentioned this either yesterday or the day before, you're like, I can't believe this is happening again. Like, why does this keep happening to me? These generational patterns, and your parents and your grandparents and your great-grandparents and the generations before them never intend to ruin your love life. Like, that's not why people are, passing down
your life in general.
Exactly. Like, it's nobody wakes up in the morning going, I can't wait to 70 years from now ruin my grandchild's love life. It's not what happened. It's usually a conversation they inherited too. So when you think about it, ladies, even as a little girl, the things that you heard the ladies talking about on, in holiday reunions, family get-togethers, about their husbands, about men, there are cultural and generational conversations. However, what I wanted to say was, when you have something that's all the way back here and you're not even aware of it, and you're operating on a date completely unaware, or in a relationship completely unaware of it, without doing the work to break that pattern and knowing how to do it, because everybody wants to break it, but just having the skills to break those patterns, without doing that, it's first of all, without having somebody help you see the blind spot. I told somebody today, because she was like, oh, I don't know what she was saying. Like, she said something and it was a complete blind spot. She goes, oh my God. Oh, she said, I actually teach this work and I can't believe I'm in this space. And I said, well, because it's called a blind spot. If you could see it, it would be called an I can see it spot. But it's not called that. It's called a blind spot for a reason. It's why you need somebody else to kind of help you bring it to the forefront. Without doing that, you continue doing these things, as Michelle said, unconsciously, and it's sabotaging you. So that's the kind of work we're going to be doing at the event, where we're going to really help you break down some of these things that have been sabotaging your relationships. Not just the last one. You could probably look back and see several relationships where the same kind of, even if you met in completely different ways, met the man in a different place at a different time in your life, and then you keep seeing that it ends, or at some point it starts to feel very familiar to something else. That's the kind of work we're gonna, deep level, soul level, heart level work we're gonna be doing at the event. And then, Michelle, just because we do have to go, can you give you mentioned one of the outside things about that women can stop doing, to have them, because this is about attracting the right kind of man. So maybe the talking is more like once you're on a date, but what's something on the outside, like a doing thing that women may be doing? I know today we were talking about somebody that we're helping to see one of those blind spots of something that she's doing to attract, to just get a man. It's not about getting a man to do anything. Delete. Forget I just said that. Inspiring a man to call you, to move from text to a phone call, to ask you out. What's something that we can leave people with today? And maybe we'll go more into depth into the outside, things to do on the outside tomorrow.
But what are you asking? One thing that they can do?
Yeah, so we've talked a lot about mindset.
Attract, yeah.
Maybe it is better to leave the things on the outside for tomorrow, but you did mention, so we could talk tomorrow a little bit more about why you said to stop talking so much on a date. People are probably like, what do you mean? Am I supposed to be mute? No, you're not going to be mute. But I didn't know if we wanted to leave them with something. I just don't know. Maybe it's better to wait till tomorrow to talk about the outside stuff, just because of the time.
So I'll just give a really quick thing. Really quick thing. So I know a lot of people are online dating, a lot of women, a lot of men are online dating, and I know that a lot of people have a lot of opinions and mindsets about online dating. And so here's what I'll say about online dating. It gives you a lot of options. So one thing that we highly recommend when you're online dating is that you, once you start going back and forth and you're texting, before you accept a date, get on the phone with the man. But you're not going to tell him, oh, can you call me? You're actually going to invite him to call by letting him know that you would love to hear his voice, or you would love to talk more about that, or you would love, he's making you laugh so much that you'd like to know if that great sense of humor transfers over the telephone. There's subtle ways to do it without telling him what to do, and we'll get into that, I'm sure, if not tomorrow, the next day, why you don't want to tell a man what to do, why you want him to be able to lead. But just the importance of getting on the phone before you talk to somebody is so that you can really hear them, what they're saying, how they're saying it, tone of voice and everything. But it also shows that you're a woman who just doesn't accept a date from anybody. So it shows that you're a woman of high value, high quality. And you want to do that at least 1 or 2 times before you even go out on the date. I'm telling you, people say, I have to be in front of people. I get it. That's another mindset thing that you can shift. But you want to know who you're saying yes to, and you're not going to get that only by reading their profile or some text back and forth. So you're going to give yourself a great opportunity to have a great first date just by having a few conversations before you say yes.
All right, so that's a great one. Okay, that's a great one because, and we will, you know what we'll do tomorrow? We'll give another few things that you can do for attracting or on a first date, so that you can, have some of these things, we don't call them tips. We really don't. And we don't call them strategies. They really are, because everything that we teach, and this, of course, will be at the event and when you work with us, it's not just the doing, it's the way of being and the energy behind it. Because you can do something textbook and not get the results that you want because the energy, the mindset, and the way of being isn't aligned with the results that you want. So preview of coming attractions for tomorrow. We're going to jump off. Thanks so much for being here with us today. If you're hey Cherry, if you're watching this on replay, you can just go ahead and put your ahas, your comments, your questions below, and we always come back and we answer them, and we make sure that that you get, and that we support you in any way that we can. Before I forget, let me go ahead and pop for those of you who are local, the link to the New Love in the New Year live event, free event. Yes, we're crazy. We're crazy about you. We want you to have the love that you want in 2019. And so we're doing this event for free. But remember, it's not just about giving your name and email address and phone number on that first page. There's a confirmation. So step 1 is definitely registering. Step 2 is confirming that you'll be there by actually having a conversation, whether that's on the phone or via text message, with one of our team members, Mandy, Ashley, or Lo. And that way we have you on the list that says attending. So there's a register list and there's an attending list. And if you're not on the attending list, you don't have a seat, and we won't have materials for you. Okay. So we really want we want to make sure that you have everything that you need in order to be there on time. You want to come in early, 8:30, 8:45 to register on Saturday. But it does take a conversation with one of our team members so that we can make sure your name appears on the attending list. All right. Nancy, you came on at the end. Nancy's one of our most favoritist people in the entire world. We're jumping off for a team meeting now, Nancy, but please make sure that you watch the replay. All right, everyone. Thanks for spending time with us. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about how to, the outside stuff that will help you to attract a great man and have a great first date. All right. We love you guys. Until our hearts meet again, always remember
that you are loved. Bye.
Bye.